Biden finally found his way to the southern border this weekend, after midterms and a new Congress is in session, of course. Biden toured the El Paso region of the border for about 4 hours yesterday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office said he was able to meet Biden at the airport, but was not invited to tag along for the rest of Biden's tour of El Paso.
The president who caused the chaos of the border needed to be here. It just so happens he's 2 years and about $20 billion too late. He needs to step up and take swift action.
Now, Biden didn't see what El Paso typically looks like. That's because in days prior, law enforcement teams moved through the downtown area, picking up migrants who had entered the country illegally and cleaning up the massive migrant camps just in time for Biden's photo op. But the streets of El Paso aren't the only thing being staged for Biden. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's 32-year-old son, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, was arrested on Thursday in Mexico. Many believe this was a PR gift for Biden's meeting with the Mexican president. The arrest caused a war to break out, however, between the Mexican government and the Sinaloa cartel. People in the area were asked to shelter at home because the streets have been consumed by gunfire. At least 29 people have been killed and over 36 have been injured. Now, one person who understands firsthand just how dangerous these cartels can be is retired ICE agent Victor Avila Jr. Avila's life changed forever when he was on assignment in Mexico in 2011. Avila and his partner, Special Agent Jamie Zapata, were assigned to the United States Embassy and were traveling between Mexico City and Monterrey. That's when they were forced off the road by 10 members of the Los Zetas drug cartel. Both agents were shot. Unfortunately, Zapata did not survive the shooting. Retired ICE Agent Victor Avila Jr. joins us now to discuss what we're seeing unfold in Mexico. You're also the author of the book Agent Under Fire, A Murder and a Manifesto, talking about your experience. And you continue to work with border security initiatives, especially with the America Project to defend the border. Look, this is just unbelievable to think that cartel war is going on just at our southern border. But as you and I were talking in the break, that's bleeding over into the United States. And I think that's something a lot of Americans don't understand, Victor.
That's absolutely right. And thanks for having me on. And it's bled over a long time ago, and even more so now. The cartel have presence here in the United States, here in your community, in every single state. It's very different. They actually are running their business very differently now. They have taken over the human trafficking and human smuggling aspect. They saw the money that was involved there. They're no longer just drug trafficking organizations anymore. I consider them, and I write in the book about them being designated as foreign terrorist organizations. As you can see with these images, that's exactly what they are. And Mexico plays a vital role here. And I'm very highly suspect, as you mentioned, the arrest of the El Chapo's son this past week, right before the visit that Biden is making to Mexico. Now, the visit that Biden is making to Mexico for this summit is not the one that I or you would have a conversation with the president of Mexico. We're not going to demand Mexico. This administration is never going to demand Mexico to do their part. And that's the policy that needs to change. And that's what we know what used to work. We need to start either putting tariffs or even embargoes on this country with the designation of the cartels as terrorist organizations, because we are at a point where the cartels are an imminent threat to our national security and our public safety. Another arrest that just happened a couple of days ago was another big drug dealer known by El Gato, who was wanted in Texas for the murder of an individual in Southlake, Texas. So it spilled a long time ago. That was back in 2013, by the way. And so we have these criminals running around. They're headquartered in Mexico, but people need to understand that they operate here in the United States, making sure that the fentanyl, the methamphetamine, and every other drug that they bring into our communities is sold. They get their money, they take it back and launder it and continue their operating business, not just in the United States, but over 50 countries abroad as well.
The former president, Donald Trump, got laughed at and criticized for talking about and some of the suggestions he made in taking on the cartel, suggesting they are, it's like a war. and they are definitely, he wanted to designate them a terrorist group. Tell us, I think it's amazing when we see those images and the footage out of Mexico, the kind of military kind of prowess that the cartel has. This isn't just, you know, some guys out there with guns, right?
That's absolutely true. These are highly organized, highly sophisticated, organized groups. They're not drug gangs. They're not street gangs. I tell people when I go around the country speaking that I want them to compare them to a corporation like Amazon, because that's how big they are. They make billions of dollars. They have worldwide distribution, and they have an incredible amount of intelligence that's coming in immediately. When you visit the border, they know that you're at the border. If you go into Mexico, they know everything because they control Mexico. And there's a big shift happening right now with the arrest of these two. As I mentioned, something's going on there with either Biden's visit and Mexico wants to look well that in fact they are doing something, but they do it only for political reasons. They don't do it for the public safety of their own citizens. And in fact, that would spill over to the public safety of the United States of Americans. This is where Biden's administration has failed, and has failed tremendously to keep our Americans safe. And I'm talking about border security, right? The visit to El Paso meant nothing. He had never been there. They walked him a little bit in the parking lot, and he got his money shots there on the wall. Big deal. What are the solutions? I know the solutions. Tom Homan knows the solutions. America Projects, we have the solutions. But the problem is that this isn't purposeful. This is blatant by the Biden administration. This is what they want. What's happening at the border right now is the cause of this administration for the past years. They created this problem. Now they want us to make us think that they're the ones that are going to solve this problem. And I'm tired of the narrative. I'm tired of them setting up this narrative and for the American people to just take it and believe it. And we're way beyond that. I'm here to tell you the truth that we have an immediate threat from Mexico, and we must deal with them. And I don't see a lot of our elected officials moving in that direction.
They do a lot of big photo ops, though, don't they, Victor? And they have a lot of very strong things to say on TV. Real quick, about 30 seconds. Do you expect any effect or change from the new Republican majority related to the border?
I'm an optimistic person and I have hope, but I'm a realist as well. And we will shove a lot of these bills down their throat, and I hope they do, especially when it comes to border security. I don't believe it'll make a big change, but the fight will continue, and I will be there with them.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks for being with us today to explain it to us.
Thank you.